Assalamu alaikum and welcome to another episode of Braffi's Rugby Offload. We dive into the last week of the year of the 15 season. We wrap up those reviews. The first Sevens tournament for the women's happened. Sit back, relax and get involved. Have a listen. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Dragon spit fire, but we never fold. Exile squad grind like a shark in the deep. Hurricane storming, but we play for keeps. This is rugby in the desert, heat waves collide. Abu Dhabi to
Dubai. Okay, welcome to this week's show. We had 3 West Asia Premiership games on the weekend. There were 2 Friday night and 1 Saturday, so we'll do a quick review of them. And there was also a Division 2 game between one of the teams. So we'll start off with the first Friday night game, Dragons and Doha. It was a late kickoff. Doha seemed to be struggling a little bit with their time management skills, getting in late, visa problems. 2 weeks in a row, games have had to be delayed. I'm also sure it's causing them problems, having to get off the bus and get ready that quickly. Now, they do have Friday off, so maybe catch an earlier flight. Get here, come on, boys, be a bit smarter. Get to the country a little bit earlier so you can get your shit together and you can put a good match performance in. You're doing the prep, you're doing the work at home, and you've definitely got sparks of talent where it opens up there. You're scoring tries every week. Defense a bit, you're slow starting, you just get off the bus. Dragons this week, it was the week before as well. Just come on, lads, get into it. You've got the skill, you've got the players to be there. You've just got to be switched on that a little bit more. There's some good forward runners. Your backs are so nippy and fast. You've got to do it now. Dragons came out firing. They're ready, pumped, and they kicked off with 3 very quick tries. It was a 21-0 lead, so it looked like it was going to be a bit of a bloodbath. Then Doha started slowly creeping back into it. They were never in the game, but they managed to get a bonus point out of it. So the score was 47 to the Dragons and 26 to Doha. So big score. We've got 70 points there. So it's a good game to watch. It was flowing. Both teams getting over. Dragons using the full force every time they got down the end, pushing over that line and doing really well. Doha making some breaks and getting out from their backs like they do. They've just got to shore up that defense. A needed win for the Dragons to put them 3-3 going into the second half of the season. They haven't been at their best so far, but this is a step in the right direction for them, coming out firing and getting through a few wins and stuff. So, and it's good to have Mitchell back playing at that 10 position. He's had the last couple of games and starting to control the game around him a little bit more. So, well done to the Dragons, being Doha in that game. It was a nice free-flowing game. Everything worked well. Similarly, the Sharks Exiles game, very similar games in the fact that one team started out really strong, the other team crept their way back in. So Sharks came out with an early lead. Exiles did their fight back. Still not enough of a fight back. They are very good at certain plays, the Exiles. They're still good at that mauling that we talked about. Still good at going through the passages, but just hurt themselves at time. I know the intercept at one stage, that was a game-changing moment and allowed the Sharks to kind of break away just as the Exiles were closing the gap. But again, a big start for the Sharks, and Exiles just not able to defensively stop them early enough. They've let in 37 points, 40-odd the week before. They just need to shore up their defense. Numbers are getting better for them. People will come back, but we hope Exiles can turn it around in the second half of the season. Good win for Sharks. They also needed it. That gives them, they're 3-3. So we've got the Sharks, we've got the Dragons, and we've got Hurricanes all on 3 wins apiece. They're all, I think it's 17, 16, 15 on the table. So they're all very close. All right, so some good efforts there from the Sharks. Exiles, they're so good at times, just missing that final bit and just a bit of defensive structure to stop the quick plays. Their scramble defense needs a bit of work. So Durant, scramble defense, that's what you need to be working on at training, just getting the boys there. And I know it's a young list and they're learning with experience and they'll get better and be really good in a couple of years. But at the moment, that's what you've got to fix. Whenever teams coming at them with pace, they are struggling to stop that a little bit. All right, now the last West Asia Premiership game I'm going to talk about, and I'm purposely saved it for last. It probably was the first kickoff. Was Bahrain versus the Hurricanes. It was at the Seven Stadium. It was Friday night. It was the grand final replay. I put out a post already about it. I had big expectations. I thought this was going to be a belter of a game, and my God, was it not. All right, it was the most boring game of the season I've watched so far. It was the only interesting part about this game was the close finish at the end. Hurricanes had a few chances to win it, couldn't get the job done. Bahrain looked really strong early, but couldn't get over the line. Neither team could catch the ball very well. Like a lot of passes being caught behind and stopping run and things like that. It was just an abysmally messy game. So there were a lot of scrums. Also, I don't think, and I don't do this very often, I don't think the ref had a good feel for the game. I love the refs, and I think they do a terrific job. And I'm not saying the ref got calls wrong, but I'm saying he got the feel of the game wrong. There was no rugby being played. There was no 4 phases. There was 1, 2 phases, whistle going 1, 2 phases going 1, 2. And like as soon as there was a penalty blown, there was no advantage given or anything like that. We just need to get the game open a little bit more. It was really, really stop-start now. For the Bahrain fans, like because I was watching it on, I had it on my stream on the TV, so we had that Grant's commentary. I chose Grant's. He's a little less biased than Elliot in that case, but I was watching Grant's, but I was keeping the chat open on both. To have a look at what was being said. And yes, obviously Bahrain's chat is more biased towards them. Therefore, the rugby club management was more biased. Well, it was mostly just me and Grant having a chat. But yeah, like there was a lot of decisions and a lot of calls just stuttering the game. And it was really, really hard to watch. Like that should have been the game of the season, and it was the worst. It was the game of the season in the worst way possible. It was an awful watch. I spoke to Grant afterwards. He had trouble commentating at times, just because having to fill all the dead air, the stoppages, and the cards, and oh my God, it was a hard watch. And I just feel like the ref didn't play into that. It played into it too much. As soon as that penalty arm was out, and his contribution to that stop-start game was too high. I know, and I'm not saying his calls were wrong, anything like that. I'm just saying the feel of the game was wrong, and it showed. I know different refs ref different ways out here, but yeah, it wasn't like what should have been our celebration of rugby in this 6 weeks. It should have been the best 2 teams playing against last year's final replay, and yeah, it was a very, very hard watch. From like my investment is the show in it, and geez, I found it tough. I kept switching over to the Doha Dragons game a lot because I found it really, really boring, and stop-start. So that needs to be fixed. Again, the players need to take some responsibility on that as well. Both teams are just flooding, giving away penalties. And maybe more yellow cards needed to be handed out. Both teams also could not catch or throw the ball very well. You saw probably Hurricanes backline especially. They're fast, but they're just not in sync. Passes, running lines, they're all just a second too fast or a second too slow. They're reaching for balls or reaching behind them. Like nothing looks smooth about it. The whole game, nothing looks smooth. To Dubai Hurricanes credit, their scrum was massive. They were pushing Bahrain backwards at times, so that's very impressive because Bahrain have been really strong in that area this season. But yeah, there's not many positives about the game other than the fact that it was a 1-point finish. And Hurricanes, they missed 2 penalties, they missed a conversion, so like they lost the game rather than Bahrain win it. But again, Bahrain stay undefeated. They do know how to win games, and they get over the edge. But they've got to have a few worrying signs as well. Like they haven't been at their blistering best yet this season. Big Sasono, who was their man of the match, he goes through some great runs early, and he goes really missing in games at times. He needs to get more involved, and maybe it's a fitness thing or something, but he needs to be more involved more constantly, not just looking for that big run off the back fence, which I do love to see, but he needs to be able to offer more than that as well. But yeah, so for me, it was an awful game, but it got the job done. And that is all I'll say about that for the moment. Now, I'm going to bring Saz in. She's going to talk about the women's. So over to you, Saz.
Well, what's the crack? Hope everyone's having a great week. Just here to round up the Sevens women's tournament from the weekend. Sorry, my voice is a bit hoarse from all the shouting. Sure, what's new? First of all, I'd like to say thanks to Sharjah for hosting, and it's great to see some of the girls back playing. I think they combined with Exiles for the day. So that's great to see teams coming out. I know Muscat have a team, but they didn't make it over. I think they're holding out for Dubai Sevens. So yeah, the weekend was a great warm up. I suppose everyone kind of used it as a bit of a warm up for Dubai Sevens. There was 10 teams in total, which was great. Canes and Cones came out on top in both Pool A and Pool B. I think they played very well all day. I was surprised with the final, actually, the score with Quins and Canes. I think Canes strategized their subs very well throughout the day, and Quins just looked a bit more tired, kind of a little bit disheartened there towards the end. I suppose there was a lot of penalties called, and a couple of things didn't go their way, because I know they're fairly well able at the rucks. I know they were dominant in the rucks for our games for sure. It was great to have everyone kind of play up and down the league. I think there was a mixture of A and Bs to start off the day, and then it broke down into how the scores went from the day. So it was really good for everyone to get so much game time. I think everyone played maybe 4 or 5 games, which was great. I know it's tiring playing all day in the heat and all, but we do it for the love of rugby, don't we? I know ourselves were mad to get out on the pitch. We hadn't played at all for the season, and I know a couple of them, well, most of the girls there got games in with the 15s been at the beginning of the season. So it was a brand new team for us. Actually, we had a couple of new girls join on this season, so it was a brand new team for us. Saw some new girls as well with the other teams, and of course some familiar faces. So it's always good to catch up and have a good game, have a good day of rugby, I suppose. Yeah, well done to everybody for sticking out the day. I know it's hard work, and sure, we do it for the joy. I suppose one standout thing for me was the lack of refs. Just a little bit disappointing from the event being organised, and I suppose maybe the standard might have dropped a little bit just with having no backup on the lines and penalties being called and stuff. There might have been a couple of game changing penalties called if there was backup referees. Even little things like ball boys or something, just so that the game kind of keeps flowing. There was a lot of stop start and waiting for balls, and kind of everyone calling things from the sideline or even calling them on the pitch. So I suppose maybe that's just something to we could ask for more volunteers, or if people are around. We love the sport. There's always someone around to help. You could bribe them with a pint or something delicious at the end of the day. But no, it was a great day all around. And we're all so glad to be back playing rugby. And Dubai Sevens coming up now in 2 weeks. I'd say everyone's kind of pumping for that. But yeah, it was a great day. There was definitely a couple of standout players. Quinn's winger, the nifty little blondie girl, she's rapid there when she gets ball in hand. And there was 2 girls from Canes, the blondie girl number 1 and I think number 16 as well. Very good with ball in hand, and just love scoring tries all day, sure. Anyways, that's all from me this week. I suppose the next roundup will be after Dubai Sevens. So best of luck to all the teams training hard this week and next week, and we'll all see you in Dubai. Let's go!
Okay, cheers for that, Saz. A good wrap up of the women's game and the women's tournament in sevens. Congratulations to the Hurricanes for winning that and beating the Quins. It was a struggle for them to do that last season, so they'll be happy to get that monkey off the back early, and especially after the 15s the week before. So well done to that. That's about all for the show. We've got Dubai Sevens coming up in 2 weeks. I'm excited. We'll be there. We'll be doing a bit of content, doing a bit of stuff around there. Get around it. If you come up to an interview, don't shy away, and have a good month. Enjoy Movember, and we will see you next week. Masalama.